Morning, Jail. I'm just waiting for Public Defender's Office.
Good morning, Judge. Thanks.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Kane. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Judge. Good morning.
Start then with People versus Madison on 244018 and 244041. Appearances for the record.
Dan Kane on behalf of Mr. Madison. We'd waive the reading, stand mute to the charges, ask for a referral to the Office of Assigned Counsel, and Judge, we're ready to address bond when appropriate.
Next court dates are July 25 at 9:30. Preliminary exam is set for August 1st at 3 p.m. That will be back in this courtroom. All right, Esteban, please.
As to bond, Mr. Madison is 60 years old. He's lived here in Saginaw County his whole life. He is receiving treatment for cancer. He went in on the July 4th before he was picked up here. Mr. Madison was very honest about his fairly extensive criminal history, but he isn't on probation or parole right now, and he's never had any failures to appear whenever he has had to deal with the court system. We'd ask for a reasonable bond today, Judge.
If Mr. Madison were drug tested today, how would he test?
Negative, it'd be a negative.
Well, the concern that I have is like your Dr. Magneto or Magneto. Every time you go into a store, things attached to you. All right, let's do this. I'll take under advisement. Has he seen the jail medical?
I don't believe so, Judge.
Take under advisement. And then jail, could we drug test Mr. Madison just to confirm that it would be legal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Madison, we'll see you the 25th. People versus Parker, 3475094 and 1113261. Appearances for the record.
Dan King on behalf of Miss Parker. Judge, as to these bench warrants, well, as to the failure to pay, Miss Madison told me that she's able to pay the entire balance of $318 if she were to get out today. I asked her a little bit why she hasn't been coming to court for these. She told me that she hasn't been getting mail, and I did see that the bench warrant was sent to an address that she doesn't live at, or she claims she hasn't lived there for a while. She does stay at 1108 Pennsburg in Saginaw here, zip code 48601. We see the same reason, Judge, for the failure to appear for her pre-trial. It seems like she just hadn't been getting mail. We'd ask for these warrants to be recalled and her pre-trial to be reset, Judge.
Ms. Parker, I have at least on this one 3 prior bench warrants. And on the other one, there was a show cause. You didn't show up, and then a bench warrant. And it's a second bench warrant from Judge Hoffman. So you don't show up to my court, you don't show up to Judge Hoffman's court. What else you got going on? Let's see. Secretary of State says you're revoked. 2 priors. She said she's gonna be paying this. Let's recall the bench warrant first, so there's no problem there. So pay the $318 on that one, and then Miss Parker, I'm gonna have to put a nominal bond on here just because you don't show up. These would have all been resolved last year. At least this one would have been resolved last year. That other case is still hanging around from 19. You need to get your license, although it looks like it's going to be difficult for you, so you're going to have to start that process. Recall bench warrant. $500 cash surety, 10% bond. All right, you're all set. People versus Davis on 244093, 234032, and 222948. Appearances for the record.
And Cam, on behalf of Miss Davis, as to new charges, we'd waive the reading, stand mute to the charges, ask for a referral to the Office of Assigned Counsel, and we're ready to address bond when appropriate.
And then on file number 222948, she failed to appear for a show cause hearing January of this year. Part of that show cause was that I had her on, I believe, a Homes Youthful Trainee Act case going back to 23. And she failed to, it says she failed to pay the requisite fees. She did not drug test. And she did not attend or show proof of counseling through Saginaw County Mental Health. So let me first recall the warrant. I do have a hold on her as to bond though.
As to bond, Judge, Miss Davis, she works at Burger King on North Michigan Avenue full time. She does have one child who's going to be turning 1 in a couple of days here. She is on probation, but she's been keeping to the terms of it. Seems, pretty consistently. She does have epilepsy, and she needs daily medication for that. Miss Davis, she's only 21 years old. She's lived here in Saginaw her whole life. She has no other pending cases besides what we're talking about here today. We'd ask for a reasonable bond today, Judge.
Other than my case, what is she on probation for? I know she has a 23 case, larceny under 200 and lying to a police officer on a 4-year or more crime investigation.
She told me it was for a retail fraud, Judge. I don't know if that's necessarily accurate, but she said she does check in with her probation agent every first Tuesday of the month. So I would assume she's on probation for something.
Miss Davis, you're on probation with me.
Yeah,
Who's your probation agent?
Douglas, and I see her every Tuesday, every first Tuesday.
Not this case. You're on probation with Miss Douglas. It must be for that, must be either your R&O.
No, it's for you, for the retail, ain't it larceny or something like that? I don't know.
Well, I don't have, Miss Douglas is over on Bagley Street. She's Department of Corrections.
I think that was her name, I don't know.
Well, then if you don't know, then you're not complying with the terms of your probation.
No, I do my probation, but in my head, like, I have epilepsy. I just don't remember her name. It's in my phone, please.
All right, let's do this. If you were drug tested today, Miss Davis, how would you test?
I would be good.
Well, let's define good.
That's negative, positive, whatever, negative.
Negative, tomato. I just want to know what pharmaceuticals are floating through your system.
Just my epilepsy medicine, no drugs. I don't do drugs. I can't, they make me have seizures.
Well, just to verify, jail, can we drug test Miss Davis? And Miss Davis, a little suspect. If I have you on probation, you would know that Miss Lyons is your probation agent, and believe me, you would know that Miss Lyons is your probation agent if you were compliant. But since you have not drug tested, you have not complied by going to community mental health.
Wait, I do that. Y'all told me I didn't have to do drug testing no more after y'all took me off the tether.
All right, I'll take it under advisement. Let's start out first to make sure that I'm gonna get a negative drug screen. Unless I know, can't work with you. So we'll start there. And then I will talk more with jail diversion to see what we can do. Right now, I know, I was gonna have you set for a minute. All right. We'll talk more. People versus Heartless on 2-1-5-2-1-8, 2-1-5-1-0-3. Appearances for the record.
And on behalf of Mr. Heartless, I did talk to Mr. Heartless a little bit about, these bench warrants here. As to the failure to pay, Judge, he told me that he just hasn't been getting the mail. He did tell me he can put down $100 today and then $200 every month going forward till this balance is paid off. As to the failure to appear, Judge, he gave me same reasoning today, that he just didn't see it in the mail and told me he would have come to court if he had known. Mr. Heartless works 2 full-time jobs, which is a pretty hectic schedule. We'd ask for these warrants to get recalled and his probation violation hearing to get reset, Judge.
Oh, you're the one with the warrant out of Canadian County. Trying to figure out where Canadian County was, but then we found out it was in Oklahoma. Why do you got a warrant out of Oklahoma? Question.
Before, that's where I'm from, though. I grew up there. I've lived here for about 4 years now.
Well, the warrant was out of 2020, 9/8 of 2020. So that's the story you're working with. You didn't get the mail.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's the story you're sticking with. You didn't get the mail.
Well, yeah, I used to get emails. That's how I would check for stuff like that. And the email I had like ran out of space or something, so I had to make a new one.
Well, if this county weren't so stuck in the 80s, I would believe your story about the email, but yeah, I think we just gave up paper and pencil for putting people in jail about a year ago, so we're not even at the email stage. I think our pigeons died too. That's why
Well, that's how I would contact my probation officer.
Yeah. You know even who your probation officer is?
I'm sorry,
You know who your probation officer is?
I don't remember, I can't remember her name at this point.
All right. I think you're feeding me a line of stuff, but you know, since I don't have your cases, Mr. Heartless, although I do know I've had you in the past. So I'm gonna recall your bench warrants with regard to, Judge Jones. Refer back for an ability to pay hearing. And then with regard to Judge Clark's bench warrant, recall bench warrant, refer back, it is a probation violation. He's alleged, just to let you know, then for time of the hearing, go over them. Alleged, failed to submit to drug testing and, failed to enroll in outpatient treatment. So, because of your, concern of your lack of, showing up to court, bond will be set at, 5,000 cash surety, 10%. And on Judge Jones' ability to pay, 1,000 cash surety, 10%. All right, you're all set. We'll refer these over, Mr. Harless, so that judges know that you're in custody right now, in case you're unable to make bond. Good luck, young man. Oh, we gotta wait for the attorney. All right. Yeah, why don't you do that, and then I will call. In the matter of People versus Hendricks, 1048369 and 1051508. Appearances for the record.
And Kane, on behalf of Mr. Hendricks, Judge, I talked to Mr. Hendricks a little bit about these bench warrants for these parking tickets. He's served already 2 days, going on 3 days in the county jail. We asked for time served, or alternatively, he told me he can get this all paid off within the next 2 weeks, Judge.
Paid off, so we'll just suspend him. He has like 6 outstanding ones. That's why they brought him in jail. All right, you're all set. Have a good day. I think he has some other things to work with as well. In the matter of People versus Hoover, 244082. Appearances for the record.
Ethan Dale, we have Mr. Hoover, Your Honor. Midway before the reading, enter plea of not guilty and request an OSC referral.
All right, court winner pleaded not guilty, office of assigned counsel. You have the next court dates. Pre-exam is July 30 at 8:45. Preliminary exam is August 6 at 10:30. That's going to be in front of Judge Fickner next door. I understand that he does have 7 days under Judge McGraw. It'll begin serving. As to bond, please.
As the bond judge, I'd like the court to take under advisement that Mr. Hoover is dealing with kidney failure and other various health ailments. He has lived in Saginaw his entire life, and although he did violate this PPO, I spoke extensively with him about the nature of no contact and the nature of these charges. And if given bond, Judge, I believe that he would be able to abide by that and understands the gravity of what would happen if he does not. We would ask for a PR bond after he's done serving his 7 days.
Well, the charges involve aggravated stalking and
Understood.
malicious destruction of a building, which alleged to have occurred on or about July 16th. The interim bond that magistrate set was 20,000 cash surety. He would have indicated a bond recommendation. Date of birth? 3/15/65?
Yes.
Should have also prior warrants, or there's other warrant, one's out of Texas, it looks like. Lubbock, Texas. All right, we'll do this. Given the nature of the charges involving stalking, bond will be at 10,000 cash surety with GPS lockdown. No contact. The victim, no alcohol, illegal controlled substances or firearms. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
In the matter of People versus Mathis, 243449.
Dan Kane on behalf of Mr. Mathis. We waive the reading, stand mute to the charges, ask for a referral to the office assigned counsel, and Judge, we're ready to address bond when appropriate.
Court will enter plea of not guilty. Office of assigned counsel. Pre-exam is July 30 at 8:45 a.m. Preliminary exam is August 6 at 10 a.m. That's in front of Judge Fickner. As to bond, please.
To bond judge, Mr. Mathis, he's lived here in Saginaw County his whole life, currently works full-time at McDonald's, and he has 2 kids that he takes care of. I did go over the bond recommendation with Mr. Mathis today. Judge, I would only highlight that his last conviction was multiple years ago in 2017. And, he was fairly young when that happened. He successfully completed HIDA for that. Besides that, he hasn't had any criminal history in the last 7 years. He has no other pending cases, and he's not on probation or parole. We'd ask for a reasonable bond today, Judge.
He had a bond violation order back in 20. See what it is. So he did have, apparently had some issues with maybe intimate partner issues there. All right. concern, it does appear that back in 20, he was placed on bond for a case involving aggravated domestic violence. I see that during the course of that bond that there was a violation of the bond order. And so, given the concern that the court has for his ability to follow bond conditions, given the nature of the charges, bond will be set at 10,000, cash surety, 10% with day reporting. All right. In regards to People versus Smith, on file number 243586, appearances for the record.
Dan King on behalf of Mr. Smith, we'd waive the reading, stand mute to the charges, and ask for a referral to the Office of Assigned Counsel, and Judge Horay to address the bond when appropriate.
Court will enter a plea of not guilty, Office of Assigned Counsel. Pre-exam is July 25 at 8:30. Preliminary exam is July 30 at 8:30 in front of Judge Clark. As to bond.
As to bond, Judge, Mr. Smith, he currently works full-time at Next Tier Auto. He's also lived here in Saginaw County his whole life. He has no other pending cases, and he's not on probation or parole. I went through the bond recommendation with Mr. Smith today. You know, it appears that the people's main concern is, you know, Mr. Smith's mental health and, you know, his, you know, mental health when he's not taking his medicine. You know, I talked to Mr. Smith about that, and, you know, we agree that, you know, that's a big issue for him. But the, you know, right solution for, you know, there's alternatives to keeping Mr. Smith in jail while his case is pending prior, you know, besides, you know, just making sure that he keeps his medicine going and, you know, stays healthy and not cause any more trouble. We'd ask for a reasonable bond today, Judge, with appropriate conditions.
Mr. Smith, if you were drug tested today, how would you test?
Negative.
Oh, that's right. This was a different birthday. Apparently you have a warrant as well. Out of maybe not. Same birthday. Well, looks like it's in another state anyway. Well, before any release, let me refer to jail diversion. So there's a plan in place. All right. Maybe do a report and recommendation. All right. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. King.
What is that, Your Honor? No harm.
Someone's gonna talk to you from pretrial.
Am I getting, am I getting released today?
I don't know yet. The allegations are, pretty serious.
All right, thanks, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
Judge, you wanted Cave and Madison drug tested.
Yes.
Rick sent an email saying he's been in jail on other matters